Detention camps of the Islamic State group aren't just a stain on Syria. They're a black mark on the conscience of the world. In this desert of good and evil, there are the guilty and the innocent. Few countries have bothered to sift and separate what IS left behind. Nada Fadullah is being punished for the sins of her father. Along with her grandmother, he brought the family here from Indonesia in 2015.
There's one person that's responsible for bringing you all the way here, for taking you out of school, from stopping you becoming a doctor. It's your father. Can you forgive your father?
Yeah, because he's a human being, you know. Every human being can make a mistake. But he's already apologized to me about what he did. He apologized to me and tried to make everything better, but he can't do anything because he's in prison.
It's the craziest thing that in my life, and I bring all my family to the Syria.
Now in prison, Nada's father says he's full of regret.
And then, in the beginning, everything is running, it's okay on it.
You must have seen the videos that the Islamic State put out. There were videos not just of a paradise and a great place to live if you're a Muslim, but there were videos of beheadings, of murder, of enslavement, of terrible cruelty. You would have known when you left Indonesia that this was no ordinary country you were moving to.
Yeah, we know that, but everybody made a mistake, right? Maybe you made a mistake in your life. You made a mistake in your life, and everybody made a mistake in their lives. And this is my biggest mistake in my life.
Syria was never a safe place to lock up dangerous men. Amid these hardcore IS supporters, children are packed in prison uniforms that are too big for them. Indonesia is struggling to deal with the Islamic State group's toxic legacy. Like Nada, hundreds of others are stranded here. 10,000 kids from 80 countries cling on here, betrayed by their parents, and their governments don't seem to care either. It's the orphans who've truly been abandoned by Indonesia and humanity. Here we met Farouk, Yusuf, and Nasser.
ينضرب قذايف وبعدين ما أعرف يعني هربت ما شفته ولا واحد من أهلي. كان ضرب الطيارة وبعدين كله ضاع. بعدين بس لقيت فاروق في كانت راح بعدين لقيت فاروق في تحت جبل.
What happened to your brothers and sisters and to your mum and dad?
قتل كله.
Yusuf, when you leave here, when you leave Al Hol, where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
ما بدي أروح دلهون.
These children are blameless, but there are no plans to return them to Indonesia.
And what do you say to people in Indonesia? Do you want to go home?
Yeah, because I'm really tired in here. So we're thankful if there's people who want to
Forgive you?
yeah, and for receiving us back. We thank for it, and we just hope we can get out from here and come back to our country. That.
They are one Indonesian family among many. Dozens of countries are now asking the same question. Can they welcome back those who belonged to the enemy of the world? Indonesia doesn't have an answer, but it knows the dangers of getting it wrong. It's a threat that stretches from the prison camps of northeastern Syria to Turkish backstreets and beyond. As IS was collapsing in Syria, the group had an insurance policy. A cell of foreign fighters just across the border in Turkey.
In this Istanbul neighbourhood, the group tightened its grip on two Indonesian followers. Husband and wife suicide bombers, Ruli Zeka and Ulfa, hid out here for months after they failed to get into Syria. But that setback didn't stop these two fanatics. They'd failed to achieve martyrdom in Syria, so instead they would try closer to home.
Their journey was long, slow and determined. The IS safe house in Istanbul was raided and Ruli and Ulfa were deported back to Indonesia from Turkey. Then they made their way to Malaysia, where they reconnected with IS, and continued their journey to the Philippines, where they would do the Islamic State group's bidding on the tiny island of Sulu in Mindanao. Their time in the Turkish safe house only hardened their commitment to IS. While other countries dither, here in Indonesia they're already running a de-radicalisation programme. Tiny minds were a big part of the Islamic State group's plans. But theirs was a childhood without song, without playtime. Here at the Handayani Rehabilitation Centre, the children of jihadists are given love and attention and allowed to have fun. They're learning to be kids again. Some of the children here have just returned from Turkey. Their radicalised parents are also being treated here, but we weren't allowed to meet them. Sri Musfia, a counsellor at the camp, met Ruli and Ulfa.
Did you realise how dangerous they were?
Cukup kaget kami ada informasi seperti itu. Kami di WA bahwa beliau berdua itu melakukan bom bunuh diri kembali. Jadi tidak menyangka karena di sini sudah cukup baik, cukup kooperatif, bahkan dari yang lain dia yang paling.
Can you guarantee that, given there are hundreds of Indonesians trapped in Syria who support IS, that if they come back, they won't be a danger, they won't commit more atrocities, they won't commit acts of terror?
Kami tidak bisa menjamin.
We went to uncover more of Ruli and Ulfa's story. Sofia Ansari is a former extremist who knew the couple and met them at the rehabilitation centre. He's against bringing more Indonesian IS supporters home.
Menurut saya itu beresiko dan harus dipikir ulang, dan saya termasuk yang tidak setuju kalau mereka masuk ke Indonesia karena akan menjadi problem dan akan menjadi masalah. Karena mereka juga termasuk orang-orang yang nggak bisa dipercaya.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. The so-called caliphate is gone. Where do all these IS supporters who've made all these incredible links, where do they go next? Do they come here to Asia?
Ya, ada beberapa tempat favorit bagi kalangan jihadis setelah kematian al-Baghdadi. Itu pertama adalah memang Filipina untuk kawasan Asia Tenggara. Yang kedua, mereka juga mulai membuka front dan membuka jalur untuk ke Afghanistan atau disebut dengan Khorasan, dan itu seperti ada pembiaran.
The wild and ungoverned jungles of Mindanao in the southern Philippines were where Ruli and Ulfa headed next. It was the next stage on our journey too. In these deep island jungles, they joined fellow fanatics from Egypt, Morocco and elsewhere. On Sulu, the Philippine army has been out in force and in numbers never seen here before. In the jungles, the Islamic State group roam wild. Sulu is an island under siege. Soldiers flooded here after IS struck at its heart. Ruli and Ulfa brought carnage to the congregation last January. 23 Christians died in their attack when they detonated their suicide vests inside and outside Holo Cathedral during morning mass. Their journey to martyrdom took 3 years and 4 countries. All the while they hardly wavered in their commitment to the Islamic State group. 1 year later, Holo Cathedral has been patched up and repaired, but the Christian community here still lies in pieces. For Victoriana and her friends, this was their sanctuary. She's been too scared to return until now.
Yung pag ganon ko sa ulo ko, maraming patay sa tabi ko. Pati yung mga samad, mayroon. Sige sila sabi, tulong na sino magtulong sa atin.
The Islamic State group casts a long shadow, and other attacks have followed here since. But IS have more than just a foothold here. Local militants, the Abu Sayyaf group, have sworn allegiance to them and firmly planted the black flag in the Philippine jungle. Here, a local insurgency has been upgraded. The Islamic State group has made them more vicious and broadened their ambition. A division's worth of soldiers are now deployed here, searching for the Islamic State group's affiliate. But they haven't been able to stop more attacks, and they admit no one knows these jungles better than their enemy. The men are moving pretty fast on this patrol because they know that somewhere in this jungle is the new self-declared leader of the Islamic State in the region. And he has hundreds of his own men, Filipino, but he's got more besides. He's got Arab fighters here. They've come from Iraq and Syria. They brought their family members with them. And he's already shown that he's willing to do the Islamic State group's bidding. But more than that, there's a fear here that despite the presence of the Filipino army, this dense, deep jungle could become a new safe haven for the Islamic State group. And terrors lie in wait here. We obtained this footage of Abu Sayyaf fighters in battle. In their ranks, far from home, an Egyptian fighter. He died in another suicide bombing on the island late last year. Off camera, a young Arab's voice can be heard. Once again, the foreign fighters brought with them their families and the Islamic State group's savagery. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Indonesia welcomed back jihadists, but found that the bonds that were formed half a world away in the caliphate remain strong and still cross borders. Contained for now in the camps of northeastern Syria, IS leaves a unique legacy. A corner of this country has become a global no man's land. A trap for those who belong to IS, who now belong nowhere. The wives and children of the Islamic State group had little choice in it, but they were swept up into the army of the caliphate. Their men may be dead or in prison, but their cause is still alive, and so is the threat. These families of jihad will struggle to find their way home.